Well, welcome back to another Inside Lansing. This week we're back at the library with Debbie Albrecht, the director of the library. Debbie, thanks for being here.
Thanks for coming over, Neil.
I know you've been on the show quite a bit, and we're always excited to see what's going on around here. So one of the things obviously to talk about that's probably, since the last time we've been here, finally finished, is all the upgrades.
Yes.
So tell us,
Remodeling.
what can we use now?
The remodeling is done for now.
Okay.
We are sitting in the quiet room, which is usually a space where no one talks.
It's not quiet right now.
No. But the old-fashioned library space where no one's conversations are going to bother you is in this room. And it is very well attended. There's usually 4 or 5 folks in here just about all day long. They love this space. And study rooms behind us, those are places where you can talk with several people if you have a meeting or something going on. So those are 2 unique new spaces we have that people are really loving. So.
Well, we're very excited about all the upgrades that have been here. It's a totally new place.
Yeah.
Totally renovated. But there's still some other stuff that you're working on. We got some
Right.
maybe parking, outdoor stuff to work on?
We just reblacked and restriped the parking lot because it had gotten old looking. And our front walkway, the concrete, has been there for 40 years and it's looking really shabby. So that's
Time
going
for
to
an
get torn
upgrade.
up. Yeah. And we're going to redo the sidewalk so it won't look like a runway because it's really wide. We're going to give it more of a nice look and put in a ramp instead of stairs for better handicap access to the building.
Well, everything today isn't just going to be about construction. We're going to have quite a few other things to talk about. First of all, since it's summer, why don't we start with the summer reading program? Tell us about that a bit.
Yeah, summer reading has been really wonderful this year. The numbers are up tremendously over the last few years. Things have been sliding. That all started with the block party, which was a huge success. And we have lots of kids in here all day long, which is unusual. Usually in the summer, things don't kick into gear until noon, but it's morning, noon, and night now. So lots of kids in here doing lots of things.
So it's been mostly a positive thing that these kids,
Absolutely.
actually more of them are coming this summer. Do you know why that might
Yeah,
be?
you know, it's funny and we really can't figure out why that is, but it's a wonderful thing and we hope that it's a trend.
Yeah.
Because we love having them here. You know, whether they're using the computers or whether they're in the teen gaming room, we have games for them now, or if they're reading a book or, you know, coming to one of the programs that we have. So
if you're a kid here, you can assume that there's always something for you to do here.
yes, there's really a lot to do all day long.
And that brings me up to something else the kids are working with the library, or I should say the schools are. They have their own kind of book lists that the kids have to read.
Yes, TF South for quite a long time has had required reading for students when they come in the fall, and both Memorial Junior High and Heritage also have required reading for their students. So we carry multiple copies of those books. We have audio copies of those books, e-reader if they're available, and only the students who go to school in Lansing can borrow those books. So we only interlibrary loan them to Glenwood Linwood
So
because they're kids.
I couldn't read them.
You could borrow it here, but if somebody wanted to borrow it from Orland, we keep those just for Lansing and Glenwood Linwood kids who go to our Lansing schools so that they have a lot of books, you know, a lot of copies of those titles.
And is that something the teachers have, you had to work with the teachers together with?
Yeah, they decide what they want to do. Sometimes they ask us for input, and the kids all get the list at the end of the year, so there's, you know, there's always the last minute Nellies
Now, I'm
in
sure,
here. I gotta read a book.
In about 3 weeks, you're probably going to have like a storm of kids
Right.
trying to get them all at the same
But
time.
they know when they leave school in May. So there are those good students who have been borrowing them. So if your child has required reading, get them in here so they get it done before the last week.
So technology-wise, some new things have also come about here. I know one of them is the hotspots, the internet hotspots.
Yes.
I've heard that you guys are starting to loan those out.
Yes, we are. We have 10 hotspots that are run through Verizon. And what that is you can take they're little devices, very small, that you can take just about anywhere with you, and it's an internet connection. And they're free. We don't charge for you to borrow them. You can borrow it for a week. Of course, there's fines if you don't get it back, but we just started renting them a few weeks ago, so I really want to get the word out there to folks that if they're traveling somewhere or going to be, you know, in a lake cabin or whatever, that this might be an alternative
So,
for people, or
just so
in their homes.
Yeah, so people, just so they know,
Right.
this is not a cell phone, it's not a computer,
No.
it's just a device to allow people to connect to kind of like Wi-Fi
Yes,
on the go.
exactly.
But
That's
you can bring
exactly
it wherever
what
you want,
is.
and it
Yep.
doesn't have to, it just has to be plugged in for power, not to
Right.
the internet.
Well, no, right,
Yeah.
right.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So
And-
that's nice that we're able to do that. We're glad.
And then the other side of things, you also have renewals, which have also kind of, you've done something new with that this year as well.
Yes, fines are always a big part of a library. People all hate library fines. Well, we do too. We wish we didn't have to do that. So SWAN, which is the big consortium we belong to of the 78 libraries, just started automatic renewals. So now, if your books are coming due, they send out an email notice, and they will renew materials as long as they're renewable and that they're not on hold for somebody else automatically. So if you forget, it gets done for you. No fines.
That's amazing.
So this is a really good thing. We don't want to punish people. We just
No,
want
you
people
want it
to
to be a
enjoy
very-
their stuff,
That's
So
right.
this automatic renewal is a really nice feature that was just added a few weeks ago.
Now we're going to get into some the upcoming events, but before we do, I'd just like to ask you something that usually we don't talk about too often on the show, but we get to occasionally, is what's important about the library in town here? Why should they come here?
The library is important because it's a community gathering spot. We have books, of course, but we have computers. We have access to people who are looking for jobs. We have fax machine that people can fax documents when they need to do that. Copiers. People always need those for various, legal things or just their personal use. We have a brand new scanner that is awesome. I know, it seems funny to brag about a scanner.
No.
But this scanner allows you to scan, and then you can turn that document, whatever it is, into like 50 different languages. Yeah, it's amazing. So if you have family in Poland and you want to send them something that's written in English, you scan it and you say, I want this in Polish, and then you can email it to them and the document will be in Polish.
Yeah, a lot of people, when they think about libraries, they think, especially older, if you do think of the card catalog, you think of just the
Right.
books and that's it. But there's obviously a lot more services here that you provide. There's also classes and
Yes.
events, correct?
Yes, computer
teach
classes.
things.
Yes, we teach how to use the various programs on a computer, which a lot of people don't know. Everybody didn't grow up with computers. The young kids think everybody did, but they didn't. And actually, they've been incredibly popular this summer as well, like Excel and Word and all those things. People
You
want
have
to know
other
how to use
classes on
them.
like food and cooking and
Yep.
just,
A huge range of subjects. We try to cover all different kinds of things. But we still have book discussions, but in our nonfiction book discussion, they'll talk about cookbooks, they'll talk about travel, and we have programs about that stuff too. They just started a brand new book discussion group where it's walk and talk book discussion. So they went to Erfurt Park and they walked around Erfurt Park for an hour and discussed the book they're reading. And they're going to meet 4 consecutive weeks and do that. So that's kind of a new, get some moving in there and talk about a book at the same time.
now talking
So-
about events, we also have another summer program coming up. I believe it's called
The How To Festival.
the How-To Festival, right?
Yes.
So tell me about that event.
This is the first time we're trying this event. And just to give you a little history on it, the Louisville Public Library does a huge how-to festival for like the past 4 or 5 years, where they have like 100 things. And the whole premise is you have 20 minutes and you can learn something new.
How did we find out about the Louisville How-To Festival?
Oh, stumbling around on the internet, looking for new things. And I just thought that this was a really interesting idea. So I actually went down there to it.
You actually went there?
Yes, I did, because I
And what
wanted
did you
to see what
see?
it was like. Oh, it's amazing. That's a big city library, number one. So like I said, they had like 100 things you could learn. So they had things inside, outside. They have 2 buildings. But we're going to start on a very small level and see how this goes. We're hoping to get 25 things. that you can learn in 20-minute sessions, so that there'll be multiple things going on in the building. And if, say, bullet journaling interests you, you can go to that one. Or if you want to learn how to buy a house, you can go to this one. Or if you want to know how to wear a scarf, you can go to that one. You know, it's a huge gamut of how to learn things in a really small chunk, so nobody's overwhelmed, but just kind of fun stuff. I'm actually hoping to maybe get someone from Trost to come and do a coffee.
That would be great.
Coffee definitions, how a lot of people don't understand all the different coffees.
That's true.
So we're still trying to get submissions, so if anybody has an idea, contact me.
Well, Debbie, as always, we're glad to have you on the show. We learned so much today. You can come here for so many different either social settings or something where you can learn more things, and I think it's great to find out about all those things. So thanks again for letting us stay in the know about what's happening here at the library.
Well, thanks for coming. I always appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing everybody here at the library.